Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. My name is Nina Deeb. I've been a full-time real estate broker in Ontario for 30 years. I've studied real estate and land for 31 years. It has been presented that these amendments would expand protected spaces we have in the province of Ontario by introducing two new classifications of provincial parks that allow for increased outdoor recreation. And there's something very vague that's also being added. I'm supportive of this bill with one amendment and adding some necessary guardrails. This bill as written gives the province of Ontario the ability to create new park classes through regulation. The bill authorizes the Lieutenant Governor and Council Cabinet to make regulations, adding new classes of provincial parks and specifying objectives for such parks. This is vague. The government could create new categories, could reclassify lands, including existing parks which could be downgraded, inventing new park categories which could prioritize tourism or any other provincial priority over the ecological integrity of existing wetlands and animal habitats. Consultations must occur. If it's public land and public money, the people of Ontario must continue to be consulted with. As a neighbour and steward of an urban park, it is noted that while the population increases and more people are using the park, the intended size of the park is shrinking. The Huron Natural Area, which I have been defending in my local municipality, was originally planned to be 369 acres. However, it's now being developed on 4 fronts. Lands that were intended to be acquired and added since 1992 have not been. One of the 3 ponds that visitors to this urban park area visit is wholly on land owned by a developer. I discovered that my neighbor lands are owned by a developer. The local residents discovered that the wetlands buffer minimum had been reduced to only 30 meters by provincial legislation last year. Wetlands function as filters and cleaners of our groundwater, in addition to being a habitat for wildlife. Within Ontario's parks, public spaces, and conservation authorities, there are many changes that are being made simultaneously. Ontario's 36 conservation authorities are being reduced to 7. Ontario's most valuable waterfront lands are being privatized. Provincial protections are being removed from parts of Wasaga Beach, removing 60% of the world's longest freshwater beach. From the fall economic statement, almost the whole of the exhibition place grounds are being captured as part of the Rebuilding Ontario Place Act. This contradicts the statement of the goal is addition, not subtraction, because we are losing parklands that we already have. MPP Gilanis remembers when option 9 was tried in her community as Ivanhoe Park. The new class of park meant that it was a non-operating, no maintenance or service class of park. The City of Timmins had to step in to pay to keep the provincial park open. A provincial park is provincial responsibility. A shift to park class must not mean deregulation of existing parks or downloading of the operation and maintenance of a provincial park onto the local municipality. Protected public spaces must not be developed or contracted behind closed doors. The public can't lose access to the public lands, as is the case with the Ontario Place lease for 95 years. These business arrangements and enhancements to public lands must also provide a benefit to the people of Ontario. Consultations are reduced to just conversations. When the conversations take place 11 days after the decisions are made and the lease is signed. Duty to consult is with Indigenous nations applies to the federal and provincial government. It's a constitutional requirement. The people of Ontario have a role to play. We should be consulted too, prior to the decisions regarding valuable public lands are made. This new class of park avoids public consultations in the future. This is why I suggest to remove by amendment option 9, such other class of parks as may be prescribed by regulations. I am supportive of adding more parkland and access to natural areas with necessary guardrails to protect the land, water, and habitats. This includes human habitats. Adventure parks don't just bring adventure, they also provide education and hundreds of jobs to their local communities. Adventure parks help to attract tourism and supports to the local community. Communities that have few economic resources could thrive with development of adventure parks, and this is a positive change. There is opportunity to build economic bases and to improve access to nature. Park building will give even more people the opportunity to enjoy and explore beautiful Ontario. It will give our educators more options for education, and our students can experience what nature has to teach them. Thank you for bringing this bill forward. And like I mentioned, I am supportive of it, but I would like to see some amendments to be added. Thank you.
Thank you. Nina?
I was wondering, and maybe I'll ask all three of you, if you know of other places in maybe, let's say, Canada, and then or the U.S., where you kind of see more, adventure class, whether it's, state parks or provincial parks, or even urban class parks as well. So I'm very curious to hear from you folks on that. Go ahead first if you know.
So the parks that I've seen have not America, actually Mexico and the Caribbean. I've been to adventure parks there, and like Explore in Mexico is exceptionally well done. I think they've saved nature, and it's an excellent educational facility. Zip lining, there's a lot there, and it also brought economic opportunities to the area. So I have seen adventure parks done exceptionally well in other countries. Yes.
Nina, same question.
A lot of opportunity because Ontario is a vast and beautiful province. We have a lot of land, and we can responsibly grow our parks. And by doing that, they'd be economic drivers. Like there's certain areas that we could be adding to what we already have. Like as far as what will it do? Many areas. I've been all over Ontario. I've spent a lot of time in the provincial parks. I've spent time in Algonquin, in Pinery. I've been to Thunder Bay. So I've camped all over the province, and I do believe that adventure parks would take families like myself, and we would get in the car and we would go. So it would be great for both local people and for economic driver and to attract tourism. I'm very optimistic about this bill.
Thank you for that.